Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Becoming a Better You podcast. It's your boy, Coach Paul, coming live and direct. Look, I'm actually at a different place than usually. Usually when I do these podcasts, I am over at my house in my home office. Today, I'm in my gym. I've got clients all afternoon. So, sometimes you got to switch things up a little bit. But the great thing about it is you can be flexible in life. And when you're flexible in life, you can make amazing things happen. And speaking of amazing things, we've got our event coming up this Saturday, the Becoming a Better You Summit. And I'm just so grateful and so excited. Look, our last event, we sold 20 tickets. We're at 55 tickets sold already for this event. The last event, we had 6 speakers, including myself and Zune. And guess what happened? This time we got 12 amazing speakers coming on out to share their life stories, to share some value with you. And speaking of our amazing speakers, I got one for today's episode. Her name is Anya Keefe. I'm going to pull her on stage and she's going to tell you all about her life and how she's going to bring value to our event this Saturday. What's up, Anya?
Hey, Paul. How you doing?
How are you?
It's been a beautiful Monday so far. It's my
I love
husband's birthday, so I've been running around getting him cake and flowers. You know the drill.
I love it. So tell us about yourself. Tell everyone about yourself. Tell them what you do for the world.
Well, I wear many hats, and my biggest passion is actually inspiring people and empowering people to really know themselves and embrace themselves fully, embrace their shadow aspects that they are trying to maybe not look at, but to actually look at those and understand that those are a part of who you are and will always be a part of who you are. You just have to learn how to ride that dragon throughout your life, right? And reach their life of their desire, life that they are envisioning, by following the calling of their heart.
I love
But
it.
outside of that, I'm also a mom and a wife, and my husband and I are building out a business. So that's all the other stuff that I do as well.
I love it. And let's tap into that a little bit because I'm an online fitness coach for busy moms, and I have conversations with busy moms all the time. And we talk about how most moms believe they don't have time to take care of themselves. And here you are, you're a mom, you're traveling, you're building businesses, you're taking care of your health. Let's talk about that because this podcast is all about becoming a better you. How are you as a busy mom doing all these amazing things and striving for betterment in your life?
Paul, it changes every single day. It ebbs and it flows. Some days I feel like I am superwoman and I can take on the whole world, and other days I feel so depleted that I learned to now listen to what my body's asking me to do. So I am actually also almost 6 months pregnant right now. So that's a whole different story, because right now I just saw something that stated that a woman's metabolic rate every single day of her pregnancy for the 40 weeks is the same as someone running a marathon.
Yeah, because you're fueling a second person.
Yes, exactly. So it's like I'm running a marathon every single day and then doing all the other things on top of that. So I really have to, right now in this season of my life, I really have to take care of myself even more so, because I'm not only taking care of me, I'm taking care of a human being that's inside of me that is growing and needs me to be fully good
Yeah.
for for the baby to form the way that the baby's supposed to form. So it depends on the season, Paul, and I use my tools and my tool belt that I have acquired throughout my life such as breath work, which is a beautiful somatic release, meditation. I do yoga. I go to the gym and I lift a little bit as well. And that doesn't happen on a consistent basis. It just happens depending on where my energy and where I am required to be. So, but consistently I do it. It just, I don't have like, okay, I go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or something like that. I just put it in there when my body's like, okay, it's time to stretch. And I just go, even if I'm like, oh, I don't really want to do this right now. But I make it happen because I know it's good for me.
I love it. I love it. And so, super excited that you're coming out here to California very soon. You live in Vegas, right?
Yes,
Where are
yes.
you at right now, though? I know you're not in Vegas right now.
Well, we were just in Scottsdale. We were at the
There you
Phoenix
go.
Open.
Yeah.
That was a wild, wild experience. There were so many people there. But yes, we were at the Phoenix Open and we had just came back on Saturday.
Got it. So you went out to the Phoenix Open, came back on Saturday, and then you're
Yep,
back at home getting things taken care of. You're going to fly back out here to California this Thursday for our Becoming a Better You Summit. Super excited
yep.
about that. Right. And so talk a little bit about that. Like, don't give your whole speech. Don't tell everyone what we're talking about this Saturday. People got to come to the event to actually get the full experience. But talk a little bit about what you got going on for us this Saturday.
Yeah, and I'm super excited that it's gonna be virtual too. So
Yeah,
that people that can't be there live can at least watch it on their screens. So that's super
absolutely.
exciting.
Yeah.
Um, well, what I'm going to be talking about is basically shifting your perspective and opening yourself up to receive the abundant life you desire to see. Um, I will talk a bit about my own journey and about how my patterns, the same pattern that I was in, even though I thought that I was growing and I was always growing, but I kept running in the same cycle and in the same pattern of just self sacrificing and people pleasing and not really taking the best care of myself, and that led to some health issues, and I had to really reevaluate um because just my life, because I knew that if something happened to me, like nobody's going to be better for it. Like I would be leaving my husband, my kids, um, and at that moment, I realized that nobody is more important than me taking care of myself. And I had to shift my perspectives, and ever since I went through that story, it's interesting how that happens, anytime we find ourselves at their lowest point, the lowest of the low, we have an opportunity to use that to grow and to shift, to create exactly what we wish to see in our world, or we can use it to play the victim story and to say, oh, poor me, this is happening to me. And I decided the latter. And that's what I wish for people to experience and hear and get inspired by, that you don't have to keep spinning the victim story. You don't have to keep telling yourself that, poor you and things are happening to you, because they are actually, if you just look at it from a different perspective and see that they're happening for you, and what can you learn? What can you learn from those moments of down, from those moments of turmoil? And how can you grow from that to actually achieve the life that you want to be living, inspired by living? And that's what I'll be talking about.
I love it. And I really love the fact that you brought up that perspective shift and that word shift, right? Because words are super powerful. I don't think people really understand how powerful the words we speak are, especially the words we speak about ourselves, right? And when we say things like things are happening to me instead of things are happening for me, we become victims. And I was a victim for a very long time. I believed everything was against me. The whole world was against me. My mom was on drugs. My dad was physically abusive. The system arrested me when I was 15 years old. I was hooked on drugs myself. I was homeless by the time I was 16. Like all these things were happening to me. But now I realize they're happening for me. They were building me and creating me into the human being I am today that can be on an incredibly huge mission to impact hundreds of thousands of lives. Like all these things happen for me because now I have a story and a purpose. Whereas before, I probably wouldn't have had that. Like all those things helped me. They made me better in the long run, and it's just the only thing that changes is that perspective shift, right? And I just love that you like really brought that up because a lot of people don't talk about that. A lot of people don't talk about the fact that just changing that wording from to me to for me can make a significant difference in our lives.
Yeah, absolutely. I am so inspired by your story, Paul. I'm so inspired by your story because listening to it, like, really, you shouldn't be where you're at right now. And you
Absolutely.
decided to completely create the life that you knew was your birthright. And not only that, but not only for yourself, but now you can assist other people that are struggling and are in the situation that you were at prior and help them, give them another blueprint to look forward to copy and move on in their lives and create their lives better, which helps so many. If you help one person,
Yeah.
that effect ripples out to so many other people. If you can make one person shift their perspective and have them recognize that they are meant for more, that they can do it, and then they're much happier. They can, meet somebody that can make them, start yelling at them or something, some clerk or something like that, and they wouldn't even bat an eye.
Yeah.
They would just move on with their day and just help other people feel better in their lives, which is so important, I feel like, to raise that frequency in the world right now.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we live in a world where like so many people don't believe in themselves, right? So many people are living with that victim mentality instead of realizing that we're in control. Like we really are in control. And especially here in America, like we have a lot of opportunity here in America. There's a lot of other countries that don't have the opportunities we have. And yet people complain about the smallest things instead of taking action to actually do something about it. You know, I did a post recently. A lot of people got mad at this post because I talked about how I think football is a waste of time,
Yeah.
right? I think football is an absolute waste of time. If you're not the healthiest, the richest, the happiest, with the best relationship, if you don't have all the things, your health, wealth, and relationships, top tier, then you don't got time to spend 3 hours on a Sunday watching football. And especially if you got a full-time job, you're already working 8 hours a day for someone else, making someone else's dream come true, just so you can pay your bills. And then you sit there and watch football for 3 hours on a Sunday and complain about being broke.
Yeah.
And so I put a post out about this and like, hey, this is my opinion, but here's what I can say. I don't watch football. I rarely watch TV. If I watch a movie, it's with my kids or my girlfriend. It's not very often, which means I've bought back that time, and that time I would have spent doing these things that are not relevant to me moving forward in my life is being spent on things that are moving the needle forward in my life. And then I can sit here and look at myself. 5.5 years I got out of prison with $200 and a backpack full of clothes. That's all I had to my name. And now we own a house together. I've got a gym. I've got 2 successful businesses. I'm running events. I'm helping people. Every day I get to wake up and be a service to others. right? Like, how does that happen? Oh, I stopped wasting my time on things that were not moving the needle forward. And for me, watching TV, watching football is that. For some people, it can be social media. For some people, it can be going out with friends, whatever it might be. But it was crazy how many people didn't like my opinion about football.
Well, yeah. It's a distraction, right? It's a distraction. And uh you for a long time now I know this, how I used to run away from my own self
Yeah.
by distracting myself with either my family or, taking care of the kids and saying, well, I can't do this because I'm taking care of the kids, or I can't do that, or whatever. And yeah, distracting myself from myself. And people sometimes they use that to kind of numb out their own reality. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that they didn't like that. It's your opinion after all, right? And I tend to agree with that opinion. I feel like if you're not living the joyous life that you are seeking or wanting to live, and if
Yeah.
you are not the healthiest, and if you don't have the things that you are wanting to have, then you got to start getting rid of those distractions. You got to really start looking inside yourself and seeing, okay, like, what are the top 3 or 4 priorities in my life? And
Yeah.
then intentionally move uh every step you take, every decision you make, go for those 4 main things that are most important in your life.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's incredibly important to keep in mind too, because we also live in a society where a lot of people feel they don't have time, right? This idea of not having enough time. I mean, if we all sit back and audit, and even myself, if I sit back and audit, I could probably find more time to do more things, right? There are probably busybody activities I do, especially within my business, that I think are going to be beneficial that probably aren't, right? There's
Yeah.
things that I could be doing that could move the needle forward faster and help me be more successful in what I want to do, But the reality of it is, like, we all get to choose where we spend our time, you
Yeah.
know? We all choose where we spend our time, where we spend our money, where we spend our effort. And most people just don't make the right choices. And when they don't make the right choices, they go, like you said, their perspective is that victim mentality, right? That, oh man, the world's out to get me. Oh, inflation and gas prices and all these things are going on in the world. Yeah, it sucks that the price of gas went up. I still need to drive my car. So I guess I'll just make a little bit more money to pay for the gas.
Yeah.
Like, oh, instead of doing something that doesn't make me money, I'm going to do something that makes me money to pay for my gas, right? Or for
Yeah.
example, I like to use this because I don't want to just talk about financial gain. Let's talk about relationships, right? I want to
Yeah.
talk about relationships like with my 2 stepsons. Okay. As
Yeah.
I've gotten to know them, right, in the time we've been in each other's lives, and as their characters are developed and they're coming out with different ideas and their thought process and the things that become important to them, I have a choice. Are they important to me? Absolutely. So I'm going to find what they find important as well. I'm going to focus on developing skill sets that are going to help me with that, whether that's listening to them, whether that's talking to them. Something as simple like both my stepsons are a lot smaller than me. They're 6 and 8. I'm 6 foot tall, big old muscular male, and they're both, part Asian. So they're tiny. My little 6-year-old stepson is a little tiny guy, right? I'll sit on the floor to have a conversation with him and get eye level with him. Right? Or I'll sit on the couch, I'll have him come to me, and we'll stand eye level, have a conversation. Like, these small, minute changes that we can make in our lives with our kids or with anyone in our life that we find important is going to be a key principle. It's going to be create success in something that's important. But I didn't learn this stuff on accident. I went into Facebook groups called like for bonus parents, right? They call a step parent a bonus parent. I went into Facebook group and asked questions. I Googled stuff online. I used Chat GPT, right? I had conversations with my girlfriend. I even had conversations with my stepsons like, hey, what can I do to support you more? What do you want from me? And sometimes it's like more dessert. Like, nah, you're not getting more dessert. We're not doing that one. Yeah. But when it's something like, I want you to play with me. Cool. Then screw my phone. I'm going to get off my phone and we're going to play together. And even if that means just sitting on the floor while my stepson's playing Pokemon Go and he just showed me him playing the game, and I'm just watching him play the game, cool. That's a priority, right? And so I think we live in an atmosphere, in an environment where people don't understand. Like, we all have the ability to sharpen our skills, right? Nobody on this earth has ever said, man, it's horrible. I'm just getting better. And it's just, I hate getting better at things, right? I hate getting healthier, right? I hate that my kids love me more and get along with me more, right? I hate that. I hate, man, it sucks. You know what? I had a really good day at work today. Man, I can't believe that happened. Nobody's ever done that, right? Who's doing that? Who's saying life sucks because good things are happening? They're not, right? But we got to make those good things happen. They don't happen on accident.
Absolutely. I love that you're talking about being intentional in your days and just getting down to your stepson's level and being intentional with that is so important, because for him at that moment of your attention in that way towards him, that just you being intentional and really listening to your heart, like, moves mountains. It really does. It opens up so much opportunity for deeper relationships with others and yourself, or whatever it is that you're trying to create, right? It opens up, that being intentional opens up so many doors and so many portals to a deeper understanding of yourself and a flow more into, wherever you put your energy to, that's what's going to grow. That is what's going to grow. Whatever you decide to put your energy on. So if you're putting your energy into your family, into your children, that is going to grow. If you're putting your energy into your business, into self-improvement, that's going to grow. If you're putting your energy on distractions and just numbing yourself out, then that's going to grow. So
Absolutely.
wherever energy flows, that's what grows.
Where energy flows, energy goes, right?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's important too, because even just putting that energy on the negative things will
Yep.
make those negative things grow.
Yep.
They've done tests where they'll tell someone like, don't think about a red car, right?
I'm thinking about a red car.
Yeah, exactly, right. Or for example, like my girlfriend drives a white Tesla. So now I have a white Tesla parked in front of our house, and I know my girlfriend drives a white Tesla. I see them everywhere now. There's white Teslas everywhere. There's probably always been that many white Teslas, especially here in the Bay Area. But I see more of them because someone that's important to me has one, right? Because my energy, my focus is on her and my family, and I know she drives a white Tesla. So now I'm seeing more white Teslas. And so when we focus on the negativity, everyone's like, oh man, gas, and oh man, this, oh man, inflation. Everything is going to look more expensive or become more expensive, when in reality, stop door dashing and Uber eating. You're going to save yourself some money and then go to the store and buy your own food. Like, there's like these simple things that people don't tap into.
Yeah, because you're not thinking about it.
Absolutely. So we got our event this Saturday. Super excited about that. We're going to be getting it popping here in Castro Valley. Can you tell us a little bit about, I know you work with, with your clients and stuff. We've talked about how you've kind of become a better you yourself, Anya. Can you tell us how you help your clients become better?
Yeah. So I use a lot of my intuition and tap into my heart. And I focus on listening to what they're really saying, but it's not really so much about what they're saying. It's more about the energetic imprint that happens through their words. So, for example, if somebody comes to me and says, well, I have this decision or this decision to make, I can feel how the energy would flow depending on what they decide to do and um what they of course have to make their own decision.
Mhm.
But I feel like we ourselves intuitively know exactly kind of what we want. So I just help them see those aspects through how their energy is flowing. Um, and knowing themselves, of course. I use different methods, such as human design methods and my heart math training, to really help them tap into their heart space and guide them along the path of what their heart is telling them, what their passion is telling them, what their life force energy is actually, how their life force energy wants to flow through them. Because, a lot of times we allow our mind to be the leader and get in the way. And a mind is just a computer, it's just a program. And a mind is a beautiful servant,
Yeah.
but it's not the best leader. And actually, through the research of heart math, which they have done for the past 30 years, they focus on the heart and how the heart works. The heart actually sends more information up to the brain than the other way around.
Yeah, love it.
And yeah, and it's felt 3 feet around you, the heart frequency. You can feel it 3 feet around you. So even when you don't speak, your energy speaks for you.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, we don't, we we have these conversations that are not in words, that you don't see, you just feel, and you can't really explain that unless you tap into your own heart space.
Mm.
And once you do that, then you're able to follow the path that you are destined to follow, and to your joy, to your peace, to your happiness. And I just help guide that process. I don't tell anybody what to do. I believe that every single person is an individual and is has the free will and can do whatever it is. I don't judge anybody's path or journey, because it's their path or journey, right? All I do is that if somebody needs guidance or direction, I help point them to the direction that their heart is asking them to go. But it's up to them to decide whether they're going to take that path or they're going to stay in their patterns.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love it. Helping people find how they can move with their heart. Awesome. So we want to save some of this for our event on Saturday. You can't give them all of the goodies before Saturday, right? Remember, they got to come to the event and really get the goodies from Anya.
Yeah.
Let everyone know where they can find you before we end today's podcast episode.
You can come follow me on Instagram, which is Anya, Anya, Keefe, Keefe, 888.
I love it. Thanks for joining us today, Anya. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Paul.
All right. I hope you all got amazing value from today's episode with Anya. She will be at our event this Saturday. There are virtual options for those of you that are not local. Either way, reach out if you'd like more details. Her information will be in the show notes below. For now, peace and love. Have a good one.